Hi everybody, welcome to the video, and today I'm going to bring you items that I've sold over the weekend. This is a Monday, for reference, Monday, June 12th, and we had 20 orders over the weekend, 21 technically, because I did take one on Saturday. I dropped one off on Saturday that someone wanted really quickly, so I am able to accommodate. However, usually I will wait till Monday. So today's Monday, and usually I'd prep these all the night before, but I was relaxing last night, and I am not going into my regular job today, so I have time to get these ready this morning and get them out by 12 noon. That's my goal. Have all my orders out by 12 noon. Have my coffee ready. These are the style of mugs, I don't know if I mentioned, that you want to look out for. I'm not going to show you the bottom because I have coffee in it, but these are called Deneen pottery, Deneen pottery. They'll have a marking on the bottom. They'll show Deneen on there, but kind of a unique style. You will get used to seeing them out there. They do pop up in thrift stores quite often, usually for about $2 a mug. That's how much they go for in our area. And on average, they're not big money makers, but they will go for about $15 a mug. So if you find them cheaper, obviously you're making more profit. But I do collect these, so I don't sell these when I find them. And they're basically just advertising. Different companies, I guess, contract Deneen and advertise their company, or a lot of them you'll find from wineries or from bed and breakfast or restaurants. So do be on the lookout. They do sell. They are great mugs. They're more of a long-term sell. They don't really sell that quickly. The one you want to look for, the most popular one, the high-end one, the one that goes for close to $100, is the Death Wish coffee one. So if you find Death Wish coffee, pick it up. It's going to be about a $100 bill. $80 to $100, I would say. Okay, but here's the few items that I have right now out on the table. I'm going to show you guys. We'll go over a little bit. I'll let you know how much I paid for each of them. This one here, first, shoes. I talked in my last video about my shoes, how I'm not really sourcing shoes. We did have a shoe sale, and these have been sitting for a while. They're in pretty good condition, a little bit of wear on the bottom. Brand called Within. I mean, these are selling before my, like, Sorels and Nikes and Adidas I have still. I mean, Within, size 40, which I think is about a size 9.5 or 10 in women. That's a European shoe size code. So you have to look it up, Google it. They'll let you know. But, like I said yesterday, my shoes just are not going anymore. So I sold a lot on Whatnot already, and I still have a few more pairs, a couple of boxes still of shoes I'm trying to move on eBay, and they're just not moving. Now when I say, I know you'll hear a lot of people saying, it's not selling for me, it's not selling for me. It's not that it's necessarily not selling for me, it's the profit I'm going to make just isn't there on these shoes. And they're not moving at a speed that will put the money back into my bank account so I can buy other stuff. I have no problem buying shoes and making lower profit. But if they're just going to sit there, my money's going to be tied up in them, I'm not going to bother with it. I'm going to move on to products that do sell quickly. So just because I'm saying it's not selling for me doesn't mean that on eBay, certain people get certain types of sales. Like there's certain people that get shoe sales only, or certain people that get glassware sales. Sales are happening all the time in every category, no matter who's posting it. If someone's looking for it, they're going to find it and they're going to buy it. And hopefully yours is, towards the top, or mine or whoever's is towards the top and they're buying that. So when I say it's for me, it just means I'm not making any profit. I'm not making good profit on it, and it's not moving quick enough. So, and shoes aren't something that I want to sit on. Like I said in my other video, on average, shoes for me cost about, right now, with the current You know, everybody's hiking their prices. It's around $15 a shoe for me. I mean, I could go down to the Goodwill bins. It's a bit of a drive for me. It's about an hour away from where I live. But right now, it's just not a good buy for me. So I'm just trying to get rid of the last bit I have. Well, these are going out. But something that is moving very quickly and something I would rather buy is Pyrex. Pyrex is moving quick. We have 2 Pyrex sales on the table here. This is a smaller purchase. Generally, the solid colors don't go for as much. But what this had going for it was it had the lid. So do look out for the lids if you do find them. And sometimes the lids will sell by themselves because people are looking to complete their set or their one piece. Blue Pyrex. This is a number. They're usually all numbered on the bottom. 0502. This is a 1 1/2 pint container. So Pyrex. This sold. You know, I got this a week ago and it's gone. Got this for $2.19 and it sold for $18. So, I mean, I'd rather be buying this than buying shoes right now because these are going quick. I have 4 more bowls that I'm going to be listing that should hopefully go quick. Here's another one. This is a pattern to be looking out for. It's called Gooseberry. It is like a pink salmon color. Again, has the lid. That increases the value and the desirability of the product. Again, pick this up, $2.19 at my local Goodwill. And this one sold for $54. And this one took about 2 weeks to sell. So 2 weeks to sell that. So not bad. Not bad at all for making 50 bucks. Making, you know, around $50. Probably after fees and everything, like 49 bucks on that product there. Here's another thing I would rather buy more than shoes right here is these not all water heaters or water, what do you call it? Just pour water in there, boil your water. But Smeg, S-M-E-G. This sold relatively quickly. It took about 3 weeks to sell. And this is a brand to look out for. This one here we picked up for $8.59. And this one sold for, let me just pull that up. This one sold for $46. So it has gone for higher, but the reason this one didn't go for as high, because they do go up to the 80s, 90s, is the heating or the element part, or the part you plug into the wall. The base here is a 240, so kind of unusual. I think more of a European standard, but it's 240 plug, so you know, probably the reason why I didn't go faster or didn't go for as much. But there's that right there. I think I showed this in the video the other day. This is the Virgin Mary. Here it is in person. Something to look out for. Tilula, handmade in Mexico. Hecho en Mexico. Nice little plush here. These are little stars. They're just plastic stars, but definitely something to look out for. Went rather quickly. Plush are usually about $2 in our area. I'm not exactly sure how much we paid for this one, but it's usually about between $2 to $4. But this sold 36 bucks and sold rather quickly. Next one to look out for. Didn't sell quickly, but it did sell eventually. Got this for $1.59. And it's Itsy Ritzy. And I think this was missing something, but this is a stroller accessory. It is a brand to look out for. Itsy Ritzy does go for a bit of a premium. This just sold for 10 bucks, so not crazy profit. It sat for a while. I probably wouldn't pick it up again, but I think it was missing some accessories to it, which I think is probably why it didn't really go as quick as it did. But nice little sale just to move the store along, just to make a little bit of money, get money back in there. Another thing that sat for a little while, sat for about a month, but it did end up selling, and I got these for virtually nothing at the flea market. This little patch. This is Knott's Berry Farm. This is a theme park. This is located in Southern California, very close to Disneyland. And this one sold for $10. And yeah, I got it in a big old bundle. I don't think maybe 25 cents, 50 cents. But I've already sold some other patches from this here, so that is profit from that deal that I did on that one. Another thing I'd rather buy more than shoes. This one we picked up at a local thrift store. It's not a Goodwill or anything. It's another thrift store. This was $2. And it's a K1 Speed trophy. First place trophy. Now it's just ceramic. It's ceramic or resin. I'm not 100% sure. But just a, first place trophy. K1 Speed. And this one sold... Again, this one took about a week and a half to sell, and this sold for, pull it up here, $13.50. Selling faster than my shoes. Another thing that sold, but it was a long-term sale, and I probably won't buy it again. I think I didn't look at it correctly, because I have sold these in the past, but they're the ones that hold 9 cards. This one holds 2 5x7 cards or postcards or pictures or whatever. So I think that's why this one took a little bit while to sell, because when I posted it initially, I totally messed up and assumed I had the 9-page one, and someone messaged me and said, to confirm, is this the 9-page or the 2-page? And I said the 2-page. So this sat for a while, and probably about 3 months on this guy, but and I only got it for like $1. This was a flea market buy, and that sold for $16.20. But you do want to look out for these Ultra Pro. It's a more premium product as far as storing your baseball cards, football cards, and usually you want to buy the 9. They hold 9 cards in them, so they'll have 9 pockets. Not this one, but I mean, it did sell. And then we have Star Wars. We have chess set, Star Wars Attack of the Clones, Episode 2. This is brand new. This one was purchased at a Savers for $14. About $14 right there. So, Star Wars Attack of the Clones. This one sold relatively quickly within the week. So that sold within the week, and that one went for $45. So not a bad profit on that one. And it sold quickly, so that money gets right back into the account, so that way I can spend it on something else or more product. Let me grab one more thing I wanted to show you guys that sells quickly, and I think it's pretty obvious why. That is an iPod. This says, I think I showed this in a video. I did show this in a video when I picked it up, but I got 3 iPods for the price of, not even an iPod, for the price of some cables for an iPod. But I already sold the 30 gigabyte, for $40, and now the 60 gigabyte here is going, and this one sold for $50. So $22 so far, and I've already made my money back with the initial iPod I sold and a little bit of profit, and now this one is $50 profit on that iPod. That's a 60 gigabyte, and that's the classic. Getting harder and harder to find these in good condition and working condition. I have purchased a few where you can hear the hard drive clicking on the inside while it turns on and works. That's a bad sign. It means it's going to be dying soon. Or I've purchased ones where the battery is just completely gone. You have to keep it plugged in to work. So kind of cool that these both don't have, that I'm aware of, don't have any hard drive issues, and the battery seems to be working pretty good. I mean, I've had this charged for probably about a week now, and it's still holding a good charge on that battery. So I know the customer is going to be pretty happy. I probably should have charged a little bit more, but they don't appear to be going for a very high premium anymore. And I'm probably going to hold on to the smaller one I showed in the video, the teal or blue one, just for a little bit. I might use it, I might not use it, I might just hold on to it. If it does go up in value a little bit more, I can sell it. But again, iPods, keep your eye out for them. If people know what they have, they'll price them up. If they don't know what they had, like in this case, then hey, you're getting a good deal there. Otherwise, those are the few sales. I had 20 total sales over the weekend. Again, I'm going to reference, it being slow because towards the end of last year, things were a lot higher. I mean, we were doing between 30 and 40, between 30 and 40 sales over a weekend. So down technically about 10 sales, and last weekend was a little bit better than this weekend. And I've also noticed, a slowdown in it's not necessarily a slowdown in donations, but a slowdown in what's profitable at the Goodwill. And I've been doing a lot because I've changed my schedule at work, so I've been doing more sourcing during the week and during the mornings, which I don't usually do during the week. And I've noticed, a lot of just filler stuff on the shelves, not really profit necessarily that I'm looking for, but I might be looking for it if it moves fast. But your $10 profit, your lower profit items. So, don't know if I'm going to be, I definitely don't mind making lower profit, but I don't want to be buying things like, large items like this or like this here. This is cool, but, I'm not going to be buying a whole bunch of these and, making, this one I got pretty cheap, not at a Goodwill, but at a Goodwill, this might be a $5 piece. And so that would be like maybe a $5 or $6 profit on it, which is still good, but shipping this out, the weight, you got to take all this stuff into consideration, especially when you're doing lower profit margin items. If that's the case, I'd rather be in clothes or shoes or, getting that lower profit. But, sometimes you have to adjust what you're buying. You have to see what the Goodwill is offering you. Go to different Goodwills, go to flea markets, check stuff out. If things aren't, if you aren't finding inventory at one place, you have to adjust. You either have to adjust what you're buying or adjust where you're buying. So that way you can keep getting product in to keep those listings going every day, because listing every day is going to get your sales going on eBay. The one thing I've learned over the years is eBay wants to see an active store, someone that's actively in the store, someone that is managing their inventory, someone that is adding more inventory. Because the way eBay makes money is by sales, and the way you're making money is by sales as well on eBay. So eBay is going to try to push items that are popular, so that way they can make sales. They're going to push stores that are active, people that are actively on there managing things, getting items out to customers. Because when let's say you have an item, I had an item the other day that got returned. Maybe was my fault, maybe not my fault, I don't know. But when there's a return, eBay's refunding money. They're not making money back on that, so they're refunding their fees and whatever. So, just be a good store, consistent store. Keep customers happy. Keep items in your store. Keep them fresh. Go back, look at your old listings. Maybe you got to clean stuff out. Maybe you got to clean up your store a little bit. Maybe some things are just sitting out there for too long. Maybe you did a bad listing, back in the day. You got to go in there, clean it up, adjust the price, adjust the title, whatever you got to do to make that sale. I hope this helped you out. Like I said, Pyrex is going quick right now. I really can't seem to keep Pyrex on in stock at the moment. I have 4 more pieces I'm going to list, but that's it in my store right now. These 2 that are going are my last 2 pieces that I have right now, so I'm going to get those other ones up and listed. And shoes right now just aren't a profit for me. Maybe if you're getting shoes for $1 or $2 or $5 even, then there's good profit for you in it. Because I do see them selling. They are selling, but my buy cost is just way too high right now to make anything. So keep your eye out for these items, guys. These ones do sell. Remember, get it for the right price. Oh, I forgot one thing. I just saw it right here, shining. This is an interesting item. Not, it's just a multi-tool knife. It's a good brand, SOG, S-O-G. This one sold relatively quickly after me posting it. It sat for about, again, 2-3 months, just like what I know, this thing here. Just sat for a while. I think I got this at the same time, but this held on, stood in my store for a while. Sold relatively quickly right when I posted it, though. sold quickly. Then the person just, went quiet. Just didn't pay for it, nothing. Boom. Relisted it after 4 days. You have to wait about 4 days before you can cancel it for non-payment. Relisted it. And at the time, I wasn't really shipping to... what was I shipping to? Oh, Vietnam. But someone from Vietnam bought it. And I was messaging them. I was willing to ship it out to them if, if they paid, which they didn't. So then I relisted it again. And now, here we are 3 months later, and it's finally selling. But it's a good little tool. Good brand to look out for. And, this one just have some rusting issues, but I did disclose that. Tried to clean it the best I could. But someone still bought it, $36. And this one I picked up at the flea. This was a flea market buy. So at the flea market, I usually do like large bundles of items if I can. And this one wasn't a large bundle. And I think I got this only for maybe $1 or $2 at the most. So $36. Not bad profit on that. But that's the last item, guys. Thank you guys for watching. And like and subscribe. And I hope I'm helping you guys out. Alright, so I'm cleaning out the battery compartment of this Thomas the Train character here. And I don't mind the mess. My mom has me storing some stuff here from Goodwill that she picked up from my sister. So I had to go put that away in my storage because, well, not even storage. Technically, everyone just calls it my store because that's where all my stuff is at. So Mom goes, "Can you put this over there?" So not bad, but she does buy some stuff from me. I don't know. I don't really want to charge her anything, but she'll pay for it anyway. So no problem storing stuff for her. But either way, Thomas the Train. Now, cleaning corrosion on the battery compartments. I already, did a little bit of work on that, and I got that pretty well cleaned up. You're going to find that a lot on electronics when you're out there buying stuff, flea markets or at Goodwill. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the end of the world. One of the biggest misconceptions people have, is it a misconception? It is somewhat true, but that you can't use water on electronics. You definitely can use water on electronics. It's not a problem. It only becomes a problem if there's power running through the electronics while you're cleaning it with water, or you splash water on it. So you can use water. I can use water to clean this. There's no batteries in this, so there's no other power source. So I can definitely use a little bit of water to clean this up. Now, the other thing you want to worry about too is making sure that that water is completely dry when you're cleaning stuff up with it and using it on electronics before you send power through it. So the alternative to water, water would be, if it's just, a little dirty, just get a little wet, damp cloth, make sure it dries out before you plug batteries into it, and then you're good to go. You can even do that with computer parts too. However, the most common thing to use on electronics is alcohol. The higher, the better. 90%, 70% I think is the most common you can find, and it's perfectly fine. This will actually not do damage to electronics, and it dries really quickly. So that's great to use on electronics for small jobs, and for heavier duty corrosion on products. Or on computer parts for that matter, because a lot of computer parts do develop corrosion just over time from, just constantly being turned on and off, or they may be in a moist environment. I live in the Bay Area. Santa Cruz is not too far from me, and I purchase products from Santa Cruz and computer components, and they've had significant amount of corrosion on them. They still worked and everything, but just, I don't know, from the beach, from, more moisture being in the air, they just naturally develop corrosion. And so I'll strip everything down, then I'll clean it up, if it's worth it, of course. And I'll clean it up, I'll use some water. And one thing that's great for corrosion is baking soda. I'll use some water and some baking soda. So if this was pretty significant, it had pretty significant corrosion, and it's not coming off with some alcohol, rubbing alcohol, then I would switch over to water and baking soda. Again, water and baking soda, you want to make sure you get that completely dried off and cleaned up before you send power through your products again. The other great thing to have on hand, you can have a toothbrush if you have an extra toothbrush laying around. This is just a little stainless steel brush. Works really well in taking off corrosion. This also works really well on shoes too. I do clean shoes periodically from time to time, and these steel ones work really well on the soles of shoes to get that grime and everything out of there, if they're really, if it's worth it. However, for this one here, I was able to just get away with using some rubbing alcohol, and I used this end, this small end, to get in there, and I was able to clean up all the pretty much all the corrosion in there. I went in with a little Q-tip, just kind of clean it up just a little bit more, but you just scrub that out. And now usually what I will do, just so that way, there's little openings and stuff where the fluid or maybe the corrosion can flow into. I would hold it over a garbage can, which this is exactly what I did. I held it over a garbage can, and I got the small end of the brush, and I was in there just quickly scrub that out, a few seconds, cleaned up rather easy, cleaned up very nice and very quick and easy. So I'm gonna let it sit there for dry. When it comes to alcohol and electronics, you don't really have to wait for it to dry. You could, plug it right in, it'd be perfectly fine. However, a good rule of thumb when you're dealing with electronics and you're cleaning them, let them completely dry first, and then go ahead and plug it in and test it again, just to make sure there's no issues with the electronics on that. But again, I always have rubbing alcohol on hand. I do have baking soda just in case I get those really tough ones. I haven't had to do that in a while, but I'll usually stay away from corroded compartments unless it's worth it to me. So that's cleaning a battery compartment. So there you go.